This is a technique for the hamstrings, for those muscle strains or tears and possibly some of our hamstring tendinopathies as well. And what it's going to do is provide a resistance to that terminal extension of the knee, so it helps reduce that eccentric load on the quadriceps and then helps initiate back into flexion as well. So we're going to bring the knee into some flexion, about 130, 135 degrees. And we're going to run through the back. Depending on the size of the person, sometimes we can use two pieces just either side so that we're not running straight through that popliteal fossa or through the back of the knee. It just can avoid some irritation there. You may need two of the 2-inch or 5 centimetre or even two of the 3-inch on some occasions. Here we're going to use one piece of the 3-inch, but we're going to split the tape and run around either side of the shank here. And that allows us to get really good purchase on that lever so we can actually have a mechanical effect and we're not just sort of shearing soft tissue around. It also means that even when the knee is in full extension, we have this posteriorly directed force vector which gives us a slight flexion moment even when we're in full extension. So we'll start at this distal end. So we want to tape in the direction that we're going, which is knee flexion. And these are just anchor points. Now again, start well down the leg so that we've got a nice long lever arm. And just stick those two pieces on. Anchor here with the thumb and get our tension on and run that up through the back. Now if it's a muscle tear or a muscle strain, we can come in and create that boxing soft tissue unloading once again. So we're going to squeeze everything together and then have a nice anchor point at this proximal end. Again, make sure that you hold very well, particularly down at the back of the knee. It may be worthwhile having a small dressing, a fixamol or a hyperfix underneath to reduce the likelihood of reactions there. And sometimes it's worth anchoring with a transverse strip above and below the knee just to make sure that it adheres well in those hollow areas. If it's the muscle tear and we want to come in and box up through this region, we can do that. We can either go just longitudinally, or for maximal boxing we can do a crosshatch where we're going to come transversely and longitudinally to maximally pull those soft tissues together and reduce the stress on those muscle fibres, as we've seen some of the research demonstrate on the quadriceps muscle. So just make sure that the person's nice and relaxed if you let your leg go there, so you can gather all this soft tissue together. Start on the skin, anchor with your thumb, pull everything together, and then stick down with another nice anchor point without any tension. And we can come longitudinally. So once again, anchor, we can pull everything up together and stick down. And then once again, make sure you hold really well to maximise that bonding. It can be worthwhile where there is a lot of tape overlapping to spray lightly between the layers of tape, so spray the back of the first layer before applying the second layer just to maximise that adhesion. And again, we see this boxing up occurring as all that soft tissue is being pulled together, creating that soft spongy area. Could even continue down one more if necessary.